15. Detroit is 16-12. What's your gut telling you on the sustainability of this, what they've done so far?
Well, Doug.
Because you know what their pace is?
Here we go.
You know what they're on pace in terms of to win?
97 games. I don't know.
94 games.
Okay.
Yep. Which, if you're 4 games over every month, would be an incredible success.
It would be.
But
it would be.
That doesn't feel sustainable, does it?
No, my gut tells me is that the pitching might cool off and the bats will heat up. And there'll be some kind of balance where they probably maintain above 500 but playing at a 500 level for a while. I don't know what to I think Skubal is absolutely sustainable. I think he's a stud. Knocking on wood and hoping that he stays healthy because that's the key. Beyond him, I mean, I expected Casey Mize to take a step forward. And he's gotten better with every start that he's out there. What else is there? Reese Olson? Reese Olson doesn't have a huge track record of being a stud. He wasn't in the minors, and he had a great final 5 or 6 games last year. A little hit or miss this year. And then they got the 2 guys that they signed in free agency that neither of us are really in love with. So you're really relying heavily on a bullpen that I'm concerned it will get overtaxed quickly. And when you have this many early doubleheaders on the season, I think this is where my concern comes in is because you're having to exhaust the bullpen. And that's not a good route to go. So I'm worried that the bullpen is probably the least sustainable of all of it. But I still think this is a baseball team that can win more games than they lose.
So here, if what's happened so far is sustainable, basically what we're talking about, Gator, is a 500 baseball team that can parade out an elite starter. If everybody else is a 500 baseball team, everybody else on the roster other than Skubal is a 500 baseball team. Because Skubal's got 6 starts. He's 4-0. They've won 5 of the 6 starts. So in games he started, they're 5-1. He's got the decision in 4 of them, 4-0. Can everybody else be a 500 baseball team and Skubal takes you to the next level because he's that good? And, you're worried about taxing the bullpen. Do you know where the Tigers are in bullpen innings pitched so far this year?
I don't.
They're tied for the 7th fewest. So their bullpen, their starters are going deeper into games than almost everybody else in Major League Baseball. And, there's only 6 teams that have had their starters give more innings than the Tigers. So I hear what you're saying. I hope they can maintain that to a degree to keep this bullpen as fresh as it can be moving forward.
I guess when I look at what's unsustainable, this team doesn't win games by more than a run. They've had 10 of their 16 wins are come from behind wins.
You know what that is? It's grit.
Well, it's grit, but that's unsustainable. That's not going to happen. At some point, things are going to start to collapse. And where is it most likely to collapse? From the bullpen. So that's where that is. Do I think this team can hit better than 223 collectively? Yeah. Do I think their OPS should be better than 650 collectively? Yeah. And yet, last year they were horrible. But they should be better. They should be. But Spencer Torkelson, for the first month of the season, has given them very little. 10 RBIs in 26 games is not bringing home the bacon.
No.
No home runs, obviously, in 103 at bats. That's not a good stretch if you're Spencer Torkelson and you're counted on for hitting over 30 home runs. But it's not all on Torque, of course. It's shared throughout, and we've seen Kerry Carpenter go through a little bit of a slump here, but he's still a productive player. But he's gone through a slump. Riley Green has some monster hits, but he's only hitting 240.
No, but his OBP is so good.
Yeah, but that's going to come down as well at some point. I mean, these are things that are unsustainable. Do I expect Riley Green to have a 383 OPS on base percentage? No. Or Mark Canada to have a 402 on base percentage? No. But how much will they drop? That's the question. How much will the guys rise up? They've gotten very little production from a couple guys. I think they were counting on getting it from Torkelson and even Colt Keith to an extent. That neither guy has really been impressive through the first month of the season. Where I think you start to ask yourself, all right, how much more rope are we going to give these guys before we make a decision to send Colt Keith down and bring somebody else up who's productive, or tell Spencer Torkelson, you've got to take a couple weeks and just get yourself right, and we'll bring you right back up when you are. But I mean, I think you might be 2-3 weeks away from making the decision if he continues to slump.
I know. Look, at some point you got to focus on winning games and not worry about developing your player, right? I mean, the job right now, it's in their best interest to have Torque at the plate because we know what he's capable of. We know what he has done. He's way too young to have crested and started down the far side of his career. Now, that doesn't mean what he did last year wasn't fool's gold, but you have to give it a chance to play itself out. I don't know when they hit the point where they say, sorry, but we got to focus more on winning games here. But this Torque start to the season, I feel like the only way that they take that next step is if he turns the corner and gets it going. 248-539-9797.